25 miles of trail roughly, like we'll park in a spot and do an out and back. We get 3 or 4 of us, and just, first you want to go and get the trail established, get it packed out. And this year was incredibly difficult because of our November snowstorm. It really bent down a lot of trees. Had a real hard time getting through a lot of the trail. You actually had to go around it. Certain areas you can brush back a little further. Areas like the Nature Conservancy, they like to maintain a 4 to 5 foot wide trail. So we have to use a bit of caution with them and adhere to their motto. And it's a beautiful trail through there. It's probably one of my favorite spots to go through because it's just tight and twisty and turny, and we do a lot of that. Mostly just making sure the trail is clear of any sort of trees that are going to get the dogs or get the mushers in the face. We'll keep a nice clear trail for them. Usually when we're breaking trail, we'll just go out with the snowmobiles. One person will go right down the middle, and then we'll have 2 sleds behind them, one on either side, kind of overlapping their track, so we can widen the trail out to 4 foot pretty quick. For me, just something clear of debris and trees, and it's open and hard packed so that it's not punchy. Your dogs aren't going to be popping holes through a top layer of crust into some soft snow. So, I think continually getting out there and packing the trails with each snowfall builds that base up so it stays hard. You don't want it too hard though, because then it gets a little crusty, and I know mushers kind of complain about that. So it's hard to please everybody, so we try to, you can only pack it as much as you can, and Mother Nature does the rest. Yeah, Dragon's kind of new for us, and I think it's going to work well to the future. We'd like to invest in a groomer to get a little more high-tech, but the black pipe drag does well. It packs down a good trail. We've been trying to get that out as much as possible. Once we get the trail established, it knocks a lot of the air out of the snow and compact it down and harden up pretty good for us. We're utilizing a plastic sign now. We have our confidence markers, which are just an orange sign. This is Caution Snowmobilers, Sled Dog Race in Progress. It's got a DOT Class 3 reflective material on it that's highly visible at night with light. And then we've gone to using a couple of just caution on trails. Anywhere there's an area on the trail that's either tight, twisty, turny, hills, bridges, water crossings, ice crossings. If we think there might be an issue to slow down, or a reason to slow down, or a reason just to warn them, we'll put one out there for them. Road crossings, we've gone to a road crossing ahead, and then there's a high-vis orange cross right in front of the road that we'll utilize. And then for turns, the hard turns, we'll put a high-vis orange with a black arrow on it, which shows up real nice. And our sweep crew comes through after, and they take actually all the signage and they transfer it over to the other side of the trail. We keep the mushers, your signage is always on your right, no matter what, always on your right. So upbound will be on your right, downbound will be on your right. So the sweep crew plays an important part with transferring signs over. They'll take the arrows and the road crossings and all that and transfer it over to the other side when everybody's coming back. So we appreciate that help for sure. We started this year on Monday, working spots, and we actually had pretty much the whole trail signed out come Wednesday. So a lot of the permits stipulate when we sign. The sweep crew downbound will actually collect all the signs for us on the way down. So by the time they come through, all our signage is down and cleaned up. So it's pretty nice. We printed off 1,200 caution signs, confidence markers, and then like 300 of each of the other ones, arrows and whatnot. This week, the evenings have been filled with making signs and staple them to lath. We oversee the entire trail. We're working towards trying to get different groups of individuals in the different regions, whether it's Wetmore or Grand Marais. We do have 2 gentlemen out of Grand Marais that take care of a lot of the trail. They usually ride about 20 miles out from Grand Marais. Ed and Chris, and they do a wonderful job for us. Really appreciate having their help. But as far as other groups, it's basically, there's just a core group of the previous trail crew, Kathy and Terry Sleater and John Carlson. We thought going into this race we would have one of the better trails we've had. Last year was awful just for the fact that we never had the freeze-thaw cycles. It was bottomless snow was really difficult to pack. And this year we were fortunate to have those cycles come through and get some good bases going. And now with the snow and the drifting, you have to adapt. You just keep plugging forward. You know, the race will go on. We'll just get out there a little earlier and try to break a good trail for them to motor on down. We're planning on going out at 1 o'clock tomorrow. We've got some stuff. We organize the sleds and pick up some rental sleds in the morning. But we're going to head out at 1 o'clock tomorrow and drag the trail and just check the signage and make sure it's clear. And then we'll have another lead crew of 2 sleds go out at 5 o'clock. So they'll go out 2 hours ahead of the race. And then from that, our sweep crew comes in and they'll sweep the 200 immediately following the last team. And then a lead crew for the midnight run and a sweep crew for the midnight run as well.
The weekend of February 14th was free fishing weekend here in Michigan, and in spite of the cold and windy weather, fishermen of all ages were on the ice in Norway for the annual Hanbury Lake Ice Fishing Derby.
We're at Hanbury Lake. It's kind of right downtown Norway. For fishing out here, crappies is the big one. There's also quite a few bluegill, a lot of northern, and once in a while somebody gets lucky and pulls a walleye out of here. But you know, it just depends on the day what you're going to catch out there. A little bit of everything. And it's in the summer it's a non-motorized lake, so it's a very clean lake, and the fish come out really nice looking fish out of here. If you don't have bait, you don't have equipment, we got that here for you. For $1, you can come out and ice fish and see what it's all about. We started 5 years ago. We were just looking for an event that would get kids out doing outdoor activities. And there was nothing going on at the time as far as fishing derbies on free fishing weekend. And so we decided to start it, and we wanted to make it so it wasn't an issue to be able to afford to join the derby. So we said we'll just make it $1 to enter. We got sponsors to sponsor the prizes. We got cash and trophies for first and second prize in 4 categories. And then we've had so many sponsors donate over the years that we start adding more and more prizes that if you enter, your name gets thrown in a drawing and you could win up to a $300 grill.
We won a Blu-ray player from the raffle.
So it just kept getting bigger every year. This year has been a little bit colder, so it hurts a little bit, but other than that, it's just been a real good event for the community.
Well, we're fishing for anything that really bites because it's an ice fishing derby and we would like to try to win it today.
I tried to catch for the northern pike.
Pretty much anything that bites. Well, we're using waxers, shiners, and fatheads, and some crappie minnows.
We like fishing a boat because it's a little fun, and we can sometimes eat the fish or just put it on the wall, like, and so you can see it. So people believe that you catch most of the fish you have.
Just fishing over there and having fun.
And woohoo!
The first year we had maybe 70, 80 people come out, you know, a new event. But the best year when we had warm weather, we had right around 220 people show. We had a lot of moms just bring out their kids who had never fished before, because the nights we have drills and we have equipment, we'll set you up and get you fishing. If you've never done it before, we'll show you what you should be looking for, and it's just a real good event. We've had people from as far south as Georgia come out just because they've never ice fished before, and they knew it was a Knights of Columbus event, so they knew we'd be taking care of them, and we do. We got hot food out here for you, hot cocoa, everything like that, and hot dogs, and drawings every hour, so it's something to go on all day long. Well, and originally when we started the event, we never thought of it as a fundraiser. It was just strictly any money came in, went right back out to the prizes for the next year and so on. But as the event grew, we had more sponsors wanted to be a bigger part of it. So we ended up with money left over that it just didn't make sense to just buy more and more door prizes, so we decided to put money back into the lake. Last year was the first year we were able to refurbish the dock. There was just a boat landing dock. We widened it to 7 feet, and so it became a fishing dock, and we're looking to add to that and clean up the beach and do some other things out on the lake. In the Derby, we get, you know, we like to see kids come out because we want that next generation to start ice fishing. If you don't give them a reason to come out, you know, and show them how to do it, they won't. But we get everybody from little kids all the way up to however old you want to be to come out here. You know, it's for everybody. It's a really good family event.
Welcome to Discovering. The UP200 is one of the largest races of its kind. We'll take a behind-the-scenes look at what it takes to keep 120 miles of wilderness trail cleared, packed, groomed, and race-ready in the middle of UP snow country.
We thought going into this race we would have one of the better trails we've had, and now with the snow and the drifting, you have to adapt. You just keep plugging forward, you know, the race will go on.
And a trip to Norway to check out the Hanbury Lake Ice Fishing Derby.
Well, we're fishing for anything that really bites because it's an ice fishing derby and we would like to try to win it today.
That and more, so stick around. It's Monday night and time for Discovering.
The secret streams that flow beneath the cliffs of colored stone. Forests thick and healthy with birch and pine and oak. Surrounded by the greatest lakes this world has ever known. The black bear's awesome presence as he roams the hills and fields. Call of the timber wolf, the loon's lonesome trill. The eagle soaring high above, the trout lies deep and still. These are what I treasure, the only way I measure feelings that I have for this fine land. There is so much to discover when you're a long-time lover of northern Michigan.
Just over a week ago, the UP200 mushers headed out of Marquette on the first leg of a 240-mile journey. A journey that takes them through the beautiful UP wilderness to Grand Marais and then back to Marquette. If you've been watching Discovering for a while, you've had a look at the preparation and planning that's involved in running a team of dogs in a race such as this. But of course, they're not the only ones that have been planning and preparing. Behind the scenes of every race is a dedicated team of volunteers who go out of their way to make sure every last detail has been attended to, making sure anything that can go wrong won't.
This is the 26th running of the UP200 and Midnight Run. Not so long for the Jack Pine 30, but this is a huge celebration this year. When you think of the accomplishment of 25 years and the thousands of people who have paid tribute to us and worked with us as volunteers and so on, we're so excited this year. It seems like we had no trouble getting volunteers. Tremendous amount of work, of course, behind the scenes. And that starts with headquarters people, merchandise people, the people who are setting up the banquet, the takedown and setup of the gymnasium here at the YMCA, constantly working with checkpoints and their coordinators and their volunteers. It's an endeavor that we love, but it is extremely tiring. You can't help but get excited when you see them all pouring in as they are now and registering, and we've got great snow, and I know we've got some real snowy conditions, but that's only part of a dog race.
A race of this size requires a wealth of personnel working behind the scenes from start to finish. For some, that start comes long before the first musher leaves the gate in Marquette. Such is the case for UP Trail boss Mike Scholand and his wife Angela. I had the opportunity to tag along with Mike and Angela and talk about what it takes to keep the trail race ready.
Midnight Run runs 90 miles, so it's a 45-mile run in from Marquette to Chatham to where they stop. UP200 is 240 roughly, give or take. The first leg into Wetmore is 67. We're trying to slim that down a little bit. It's a little long for some of the teams. And then Wetmore to Grand Marais is another 50 plus. It's quite a bit of trail. We can do it in sections, which is nice. You know, we have our different spots where we go park the trailer. We can run a good section of trail and not have to worry about carrying extra fuel. You know, either run out of Wetmore or run out of Slapneck or run out of H58 snowmobile parking there. This year the UP200 started probably back in September, August for us. Angela was named to the board of directors, so she's on the board now, and we just started organizing all the snowmobiles, and a gentleman, Dave Thomas, donated a 4-place trailer to us, so we had to do a little work to get that going, and just kind of getting organized, getting all the sleds up and running, making sure everything was good with them. So it starts pretty early, mostly just monthly meetings, and then once the snow hit, it was every weekend pretty much from Christmas through now.
Who are these people in the green jackets with DNR on the sleeve? Well, they're wildlife biologists, fish biologists, conservation officers, field operations managers, supervisors, and so on. But who are they really? Do they hunt? Do they fish? Go camping? What do they do when they're not DNRing? Well, we're going to find out. From time to time, we'll visit with some of the men and women in green and find out what they're all about. Today, we're talking with Dusty Arsnoe, a wildlife biologist from the Escanaba Field Office.
Hi, my name's Dusty Arsnoe. I'm a wildlife biologist in the South Central UP, and I work out of Escanaba. I'm happy to take this opportunity to introduce myself. I'm fairly new to the wildlife division here in the UP. I started this past April, and so I've been with the DNR now for just under a year. And so a little bit about myself, who I am, where I came from. I'm from northern Lower Peninsula. I grew up in a small town called Bel Air. And as a kid, you know, I loved to hunt and fish and fell in love with the outdoors at an early age. And I knew this was a career that I wanted to pursue. Some things that I enjoy doing outdoors. This time of year, I love to spear for pike and muskie. So I actually build my own spears, carve my own decoys and paint them, and I just built a new ice spearing shanty here last week, and I'll probably put it out on Little Bay to knock this weekend. But so I enjoy doing that this time of year. In the fall, that's probably my favorite season. So I love to bow hunt for deer. So the first 2 weeks in November, I take every opportunity to spend it in a tree hunting for deer. So I went to school at Lake Superior State University and also Michigan State University. So I've got a bachelor's degree and a master's degree in fisheries and wildlife management. And you know, I hope that some of the work experiences I bring to the team here in the UP are useful and unique. Before this job, I actually worked for the United States Department of Agriculture Wildlife Services, and that was downstate in Lansing. And we did a lot of nuisance wildlife control activities. So I worked with trapping and removing feral swine on private property. We dealt with urban deer issues, controlling mute swans and cormorants and starlings. So I have a good background in dealing with nuisance wildlife. Before that, I actually worked at Michigan State University. So I taught a biology course and also worked on a lot of different research projects dealing with different wildlife diseases. So I worked with Lyme disease, which is current down in the South Central UP because of the black-legged tick that we call the deer tick. I've worked with chronic wasting disease and bovine tuberculosis in deer and influenza in birds. So you know, those are all relevant today. And so I worked a little bit of all over the place. I worked in Canada. I worked in North Dakota for Delta waterfowl, down in Wisconsin and Illinois. And so I you know, developed quite a few wildlife experiences that I hope will help in this job as well. Now I work at Escanaba, and Escanaba is great. I enjoy living there. The people are extremely passionate about their hunting and fishing, and they should be. My job currently, obviously I deal with wildlife-related issues and habitat projects in Delta and Menominee County, and also some of the forest treatments that occur on state land. But some other duties that I have are I help coordinate our waterfowl banding program in the UP region, so putting bands on ducks and geese during the summertime. And I also work a lot with our deer damage permitting program because of the large number of farms we have in Delta and Menominee County. So some things that are important to me and that I value in my role as a wildlife manager. I'm extremely passionate about getting young people interested in the outdoors. I think it's just very important to recruit these youngsters into hunting and fishing opportunities. You know, we want to keep our numbers strong into the future, and so you'll see me support programs like that in the future. I also think that preserving and enhancing public access on state land is very important. We're pretty fortunate to live here in the UP with all of our access opportunities, and I want to make sure that we preserve those into the future, whether it be access in a marsh for duck hunters or hunter walking trails for someone that wants to take their bird dog out and hunt birds. So I appreciate you taking the time to learn a little bit about me. If you want to catch me, call me down at the Escanaba field office.
Looking for something UP to do this weekend? Join several thousand spectators in downtown Calumet for the start of the annual Copper Dog 150. The Hiawatha Kids in the Woods program will be featuring a free winter fire building class at the Munising High School on the 27th. You can find links to further information about these events at 906outdoors.com. Click on Discovering. Well, that's it for tonight. If you'd like to keep tabs on what's coming up on Discovering or see where we've been, you can join us on Facebook or go to 906outdoors.com. I'll leave you with a look into the past from the Rapid River Relics Vintage Snowmobile Show.